Hey team, welcome back to Dukes on Twitch. Back today with green-white depths. This is the deck that I've kind of put back on hold while I've tried out some Magic variants, Maverick variants, and green-black depths. But I did play against it last night, and it was a punishing experience playing green-black against green-white. And I just want to see how it's going. It's obviously had some really nice finishes over the past few months. But hasn't been able to consistently place in sort of the top 4 of challenges or anything. But I think it is probably the strongest thing you're wanting to be doing if you wanted to be playing a green-white fair deck. And yeah, really nice to have the addition in this version of Urza Saga, which the versions before weren't really playing around with it. I wasn't a big fan of it because I didn't think it did enough to really give the deck a reason to play it. I thought that the plan B of the Green Suns package was good enough that we didn't need the Saga package to kind of take us off the route of the combo. But it's been phenomenal. I think that's probably the best word for it. It's just been a little bit too good that I can't really drop it. I'm also playing 61, which I feel like in this deck with so many tutors is fine. I just wasn't sure what to cut. So I'm going to use this league to hopefully find it. I really wanted to play the second Endurance in the main deck with the uptick in Reanimator and a few Doomsday players going around. So having those Endurances in the main deck is pretty key to having some game against that deck in game 1. And overall, Endurance is just a really nice card against Delver. It's not too bad against Control, it's just a threat. So I think it's hopefully okay. The board, we're seeing an old friend in Thraben the Last Troll, my favorite card in Magic. This was a card that I saw as a kid. I'm going to say a kid, but like 10 years ago, and I just fell in love with it, and I've always wanted to play it. And I think it's okay against some of these BANT decks because it is very hard to remove. It has regen, so it gets through Ice Fang. It doesn't get through Uro, but I don't think that's a problem. I think we have enough answers for Uro. And it also gets through Endurance, which is nice. It isn't affected by the graveyard, which is fantastic, and we can find it with Green Sun, so I think it's better than something like Paradox Zone, which is a little bit harder to cast and can't be found in the deck. Chokes just to disrupt the blue decks, Endurance and Surgical as my options for graveyard hate, especially against Reanimator. I want to have those Surgicals at the ready and just more free spells, especially with so many decks going off turn 1 these days. Deafening Silence, really nice to have this card back. The bonus of green-black depths is you get hand disruption. The bonus of white against combo is you get deafening silence, which is really cool. Tabernacle I'm actually a big fan of, especially against the Madness decks. The 8-cast decks, Tabernacle can really screw with their plans, especially with Psy creating so many 1/1 Thopters. Prismatic Ending, kind of just my be-all end-all removal spell in the sideboard from anything from DRC or Ragavan to Back to Basics or Ensnaring Bridge. Prismatic Ending is pretty good, and we have access to multiple colors in black through Bajuka Bog or Thespian Stage, helping an opponent's land, Mox Diamond. Getting to that third mana isn't too hard, which is nice. And then just rounding it out, 2 Force of Vigors. I was going to run Seed of Innocence and see how it goes, but it is a lot more narrower. So if I really knew I was going to play against 8 cast, I would play Seed of Innocence, but I do like the flexibility of Force of Vigor, and then it can be a free spell against some of the decks, especially those running Blood Moon, because we have actually run into a little bit of mono red and Oof. I think Oof is fine in this deck, especially with Green Suns. It's really nice to have, so pretty keen to see how this goes. We are running a pretty small Urza Saga package of just Needle and Shadow Spear, just because I believe these 2 cards allow us to get back onto the depths plan after we've used the Saga. Needle and Wasteland or Caracas, Shadow Spear to get through any sort of little flyers like Baleful Strix, Ice Fang, 1/1 Thopters, you name it. And the lifelink is relevant against decks like Delver, where you can really change the combat math of the matchup, which is pretty cool. I feel like we don't have play points either for this, which is pretty tough. We don't, so we will roll the dice and open some chests. I'd love to get like a 20. Oh, a 45 is pretty nice. That's a really nice one because I like to keep the chests on factors of 10. So if this is a 20, I would just be so happy. It is not. There we go. All right. Play points, nice. Streaming. There we go. Nice. Hope you're all doing well. It is nearly New Year's Eve, which is crazy. 2021 has just flown by. I'm not sure what card this is that Newton's showing off. Oh, Pyroclasm. Oh, double Pyroclasm? Nuts. What did it kill? Dried Arbor and Endurance for double Pyroclasm. That's pretty classic. Hey Tim, welcome. Homies with Mr. Lee in real life. Nice, Mr. Lee is a very nice guy. From Australia, which is cool. And you're welcome. Used to be a green-black depths player and swapped to green-white with the meta. Yeah, nice. I like that. I think that green-white has some pretty nice strengths to it. Especially being a night deck. Alright. Here we go. Darth Dog. I feel like we've played against Darth Dog before. An interesting hand. I don't mind it. It's obviously really good against a creature-based deck. We have a turn 2 Knight. If we drop the Yav, Flagstones is a Wasteland proof, which is kind of cool. Volk Ponder, okay. Volk Ponder could still mean a range of things. I'm not going to sort of bottleneck it into Show and Tell or Blue-Red Delver, but I'm going to say it's Blue-Red Delver. Could also be Tess or Ant. There's a lot of things these days that we could look. They chose to shuffle, which is interesting. That makes me feel like if we hit a Wasteland, I'm pretty happy just to throw that straight off. Or a Crop. Second Yav. Okay, well, we can play out flags. We can play Mox pitching a Yav. There's also a small world where if I really want to play the Knight of the Reliquary as a 4/4 next turn, I could pitch the Thespian stage to Mox, next turn play Yav, and then the following turn play Yav around to play the Knight around Days and make it a 4/4, but I think that's a bit loose. So I think we just play the Yavimaya and pass with swords up. But if this is Delver, then I'm pretty happy to not play Knight next turn and wait to be able to play around Days and also make the Knight a 4/4 to play around Bolt. Because we're definitely in no rush. nothing. This is a little more suspect with them not playing a creature yet. Windsurf's pretty nice here because it's a land that can't be wastelanded if this is what we think it is, being Delver. It can also get a basic, which is fantastic, and it also makes the Knight a 4/4, so pretty happy to play the Windswept here. I think other than Delver, most of the creatures that this deck plays are gonna warrant a Swords to Plowshares. A Dash Ragavan, a DRC, a Murktide, of course. Trop. Okay. I'm leaning on the side of combo here. Tundra. Uro. Okay. I don't really want to swords this, I don't think. But at the same time, for a deck like this, if I'm not swordsing this, what am I swordsing? And I do want to do it now before they draw either a Force or a blue card or a Karakas. I could draw into Bog, but I don't really want to do that. And they have a pretty high chance next turn of being able to actually get back a row, so I think swords is fine. I'm also going to hold the fetch, knowing that this is a deck, because I believe I want to put in Dried Arbor, perhaps. If they play like Teferi bounce Knight next turn, I want to have a creature around to kill the Teferi. Reclaim is pretty nice as well. So now there's just a world where I double spell. I'm not going to worry about back to basics with this mana base, so pretty happy just to go for Reclaimer here. But a blue stew deck is going to be a little bit tough. Sorts of Plowshares, Uros, probably Prismatic Ending. Currently only one white source, which might be a little advantage we can take care of. Hey, Legacy Council, welcome. Library into Swords, okay. That's not too bad. Another Reclaimer. So if we have this is actually a tough one, because if we play the Avamaya, so now we have open 2 mana, 4 mana, so we can use 2 for stage and 2 to find Dark Depths, but being at 28 life, it's just a little bit too high. So I think here I'd rather play the second Reclaimer and then just hold up Reclaimer, and then we can start perhaps using flagstones to get some value going. Force pitch Uro. Okay, that's a small win. Yeah, the deck is pretty inevitable, which is nice. And throwing a 2020 away just doesn't seem too great. I think we we can go towards a Green Sun's line with Sylvan Safekeeper. There's a world where I don't even want to use the flagstones here. I just want to hold up Reclaimer so they can't remove it. Unless I'm certain that they can't remove it, like holding up Double Trop. But Sylvan Library here at 27 life is pretty brutal. At least we know looking at this mana base, Choke's going to be okay. And probably Thrun. Probably just a small sideboard structure with like Endurance, Thrun, 2 Chokes, and 2 Prismatic Endings. I think Prismatic Endings are better than the Force of Vigors to answer things like Sylvan Library, or if they are a back to basics deck, and just have hit all 4 jewels straight away. Yeah, Carpet's always a card that I've considered over Choke. Just because it allows us to do more of what we want to do rather than really care about our opponent. It's also cheaper, which is really nice. And it's kind of a free spell on turn 1 if you play it correctly. So they're going to try to remove this Reclaimer with Prismatic Ending. And I think this is 100% worth saving. So we can sack the Flagstones. Go and get a Savannah. And then go and get Step. And give Pro White. It looks like they're really missing out on white mana. Which, like, a Wasteland would be really nice here, but don't have access to that. Pro White. Wow, so they drew a card with Library but didn't draw another land. Dress down? Okay. That's fair. Endurance. Endurance is pretty nice. I am just going to hold up instant speed interaction here. I don't want to lose the Reclaimer to another sort of Source to Parshes effect. And at least the Endurance can start getting some damage in. Getting my opponent below 20 life is exactly where I want to be. And if they buy one more card with this Sylvan Library, they're going to start doing that, which is nice. Some players aren't too sure on how many steps this deck plays as well. And we do play 2, so we have another way to actually save Reclaimer, which is nice. Endurance is also sweet on yourself. If you do something like play Bojuka Bog, bog your opponent, and then sack the Bojuka Bog to Crop Rotation or Elvish Reclaimer, you can then Endurance it back into your deck to then find it again. These games can go pretty long as well, so already being 5 minutes up on my opponent is a really nice benefit, especially if it goes to 3 games. Opponent may be considering Hardcast Force, which takes them off the Wasteland. pros, cons, green, black versus green, white. Oof. They do force. Interesting, but they hold up their mana. Dark Depths. Okay. Green, black, I would say hand disruption is a big one. You also get the pretty consistent for a turn 1, turn 2 is turn 1 Urborg, like Inquisition or Thoughtseize, and then turn 2 Dark Depths Hex Mage. So you can just win turn 3. I would say Yavimaya has given green white depths the same sort of speed, but also having like another Reliquary and then Deafening Silence, like Knight for like the fair mid-range decks, and then Deafening Silence for the combo decks is pretty big. Green white having the Green Suns package as well is pretty huge. It means that all your 1-ofs are virtually 5-ofs, which is nice. So you have 5 copies of Sylvan Safekeeper or 5 copies of Ramen Up Excavator. But I think if you're wanting to grind leagues, green black right now is pretty sweet. I've been playing a green black version with Saga. It's been doing pretty well. Where are we? Green black Saga Depths. Yeah, so still playing Hex Mage, obviously the package, and then have like Retributive Foundry as like an alternate win con with Urza's Saga, which is nice. The one thing about Urza's Saga, hey BANT lover, welcome. Sadly no BANT. We are seeing a 4-color deck here. But the sad thing about running a package like Urza's Saga in your Depths deck is that you're going to run into hate like Meltdown, which Delver plays a lot in the sideboard, and can really hurt. But it's a good. Prometheus, welcome. Down to 10. Interesting. I still don't want to use the Reclaimer, I don't think. They have 4 cards in hand, which is interesting. We are not on Mazavith, but it is pretty good. Wasteland's perfect, because now we get to Wasteland the Wasteland, and then they try to Wasteland, and we have Dark Depths. And I'm not using the Reclaimer here because I really don't want to open it up to removal. I want to hold up Sejiri Step number 2. Definitely not GG because they do have a lot of answers in this deck, but it's a good start. Especially if they do something like we Wasteland, they try to Wasteland Depths, we then combo off, then they have like Swords to Plowshares, we give a free hit, and then they just have Endurance to block, and then untap and have like Teferi to bounce, or Jace to bounce, or Prismatic Ending. So definitely still a few things to play around. Luckily we do have Swords to Plowshares for an Endurance line, so they would only go up to 13, which is pretty nice. Alright, so here in end step we can start the process by Wastelanding Wasteland. Opponent having a pretty good think. They're going to try to hit Dark Depths here, so then we can float 2 mana. Copy Dark Depths. We do have a second step, which is really nice. They're now going to Swords this, which is pretty interesting. I think I will save, yeah, I think I might even try to go towards a Saga line here. Just to have that backup plan in case the Dark Depths doesn't go to good. I could get another Depths, but I kind of like Saga. They might even be getting rid of the Reclaimer here because they believe they have Endurance, and Endurance is a way to get through like a step line. Okay, this is fine. I think best draw here is just Sylvan Library, especially at 46 life. Crop. Okay. That's not too bad because we can crop into a 1, 2, 2. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. I was gonna say we could crop into another Thespian stage to copy Saga. But I'm pretty happy again just playing a bit of a slow game. And at least if they find a wasteland here, or even a like Life from the Loam, we have the crop for Bog. Brainstorm's okay. I'd love to see like an Uro here. Just to really get max value out of a Bojuka Bog if we want to play Bojuka Bog. Alright. I'm just going to make a stop on my draw step. Library. Okay, that's pretty perfect. Shadow Spear is really nice to get through things like 8 cast or against Delver where you really want that life gain, or maybe like a Madness deck. Alright. I am going to create a token here. They're going to fetch Mystic Sanctuary. What do they want to get back? Maybe Dress Down? No, they can't. Prismatic Ending. That's something I probably want to deal with because Ending also deals with Sylvan Library here. So I think I will crop. There's also a world where I just keep the crop for another Saga and just say, hey, keep answering my constructs. I think that's actually the play. Because they are at 8. Snap Swords is fine. Just wanted to be patient on this Sylvan Library. This is game 1, correct? Swords. Take out the Shadow Spear. Okay. Nice. A land here would actually be nice, because then we can play library and also hold up. That's pretty nice. They're gonna tap like this. Nice. Brainstorm's fine. One really nice thing about Saga is that in this deck with Knight, what you can do when you're kind of into late game is take your draw step, and then end of draw step, you can go and find a Saga. It ETBs, you get a counter, and then main phase 1, you get a second counter and can create a construct straight away. Yeah, we can definitely afford to pay with library a lot. But opponent here really digging. So they libraried, didn't draw anything, brainstormed, and then fetched brainstormed. So they're really trying to dig for something. Most likely an Uro. Ponder here, I believe, will be a shuffle, because I find that they, yeah, chose to shuffle, which is great for us. I mean, no attack, really. Are they going to attack? Surely not. They are going to attack. Interesting. Okay. They have 2 cards left. All right. Come on, gas. Okay, that's not too bad. Just gonna pay for these. So here, I think what I'll actually do... one mana off. I was gonna crop for stage and copy Saga here. But we're just a mana off. I guess maybe that's actually worth it. I think it might be. I think getting a stage online here is better than creating the second construct. Yeah, they're just going to concede there. Nice. Very cool. I think patience there was key, because it's pretty tough when you have like the 2020 ready, but I think taking the time to really set up a win is nice. And then also there you saw the power of Urza Saga and how much it does for this deck to kind of pivot to a plan B pretty quickly and still keep that that damage going. So here we like the chokes, the endurance, the thrun, the prismatic endings. I don't think we need the surgicals here. I'm pretty happy to drop out on 2 Moxen. Not really the top decks that we want in this game. Safekeeper's really nice. A lot of the lands are still pretty great. I could see Shadow Spear coming out. Knight is still pretty good looking at their mana base as well. I could consider going down on a crop rotation, just being a little bit of a blowout against these blue decks. Ramanap really nice as well, just kind of an alternate win con in itself with Wasteland getting back each turn. I'm going to go down on 1 depths as well. I don't think we're going to be winning through the 2020 this match. Yeah, you can definitely surgical Uro, but I think we have enough ways to deal with it, especially with Karakas, Bojuka Bog, Prismatic Ending, Swords to Plowshares. But it's definitely something to consider. I still like Knight of Autumn as a target for Green Suns for opposing Sylvan libraries. The one thing about Surgical is that it is most likely card disadvantage. They are playing their own Wasteland, so the crop is definitely something to consider. I could see trimming a Knight for an Endurance. And this is it. I could even see a world where Surgical on Prismatic Ending is pretty nice, but I think we'll see how this goes, and if there is a game 3, we can think a little bit more about Surgical. Interesting hand. We have some nice answers to an early Uro. We do have mana, which is nice. I'd probably use the Green Suns for Dryad Arbor turn 1. But I could see playing Reclaimer out early on. I like just keeping a 7 that does something against a BANT deck because it's pretty important to make sure you don't sort of lose yourself in card disadvantage. Because BANT's just a deck that replaces a lot of draws. Wasteland. Just gonna take this stop off. Hey Timmy, welcome. Yeah, I think we will just go for Savannah into Reclaimer here. Could also go for Forest, but I think if they're going to try to aggressively Wasteland us, that's something we can draw out of pretty easily. Good, thanks, Tim. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're finishing 2021 on a high. If this Reclaimer survives, I'm pretty happy just to Wasteland on Green Suns for Dryad Arbor. Library, okay. Stage. I probably don't want to draw another removal spell, other than Prismatic Ending for the Sylvan Library here. I haven't left the house, is that a high? Oh, they're being pretty aggressive here, which is fair enough. I mean, against a Dark Depths deck, sometimes it doesn't really matter if you're at 10 life or 20 life. They're going to allow us to untap, which is really interesting. Saga, that's pretty sweet. Hey DT, thanks for the Prime sub. A huge thank you. Let me know how you're going. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. I kind of feel a dress down coming, so I don't think Reclaim is going to be doing a whole lot here. I think I just want to go for Knight. And then I probably don't want to throw Reclaimer into a Snapcaster, so pretty happy just to hold up Reclaimer here. Yeah. Especially if the players like Snapcast into Teferi bounce. You play anything and everything? Very cool. They didn't pay. This Ponder most likely is a shuffle. If they didn't pay, chose to shuffle. Oh, they're missing land drops. That's huge. Wow. Our own library's pretty nice, but now we kind of have to choose. I think getting Saga online is better than library. But it's close. I think library here is just too good. But the Saga token's free. 1 mana up. It might just be attack with both of these. Hold up, Saga. Yeah, we can also try to dig for Wayside with Sylvan Library, but hopefully... Hey Jerry, welcome. Hope you're doing well. Saga puts a lot of pressure on the board, which is nice. It is also the third land we need to go to the bin for Elvish Reclaimer to become a 3/4. We can go pretty infinite with tokens as well with Stage, which is pretty sweet. Wasteland's okay. We could have a Dress Down. That'd be pretty good. And I guess if we were playing around Dress Down before, we should have played the library. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to play around Dress Down. And I'm going to use the mana instead to play Library this turn. Oh, Needle's pretty good. I might just Needle and Wasteland. They're going to force a pitching Explosive Iteration. They have 2 cards left. I still like attacking with everything. Put them on a 2-turn clock. They do have the Dress Down. Nice. Okay. I think I can just 6 here. I'm not going to Swords and Uro because we have the Endurance. I'm not really going to Swords anything unless it's like Mentor. That's fine. Okay, well sometimes it just lines up really well. Hey, back. Welcome. Hope you're well. Glad to see you're back. Terrible. Stream Deck won't be, but you can find Coupled Live, which should be updated. I mean, we have lethal if this fetch goes, which is kind of nice. Nice, very cool. Outgrind the grind. Nice. Maybe there's a line where I could have, yeah, kept up in the Reclaimer for a turn and just really gone after Wasteland to take them off the mana, because they were on 2 mana for a long time. But always tough. Up against Eureka. Yikes. The Center Sweet will keep it. Yeah, okay. Probably just bottoming a Savannah. It is tough though, because Savannah does cast Endurance, but I think we'll be in a pretty good position by the time we need that second green. Okay. Pretty happy here to Green Suns for Dried Arbor. I'm thinking Infect, but it could be something completely different. Another Hierarch. Oh, really? Saga this turn, hold up Endurance. It does smell like Infect. I'm glad you can also smell it. Oof. It's pretty good. I could have actually floated there. And then played the Endurance to shuffle the Saga back into my deck later on. Reclaim is pretty nice. I wonder if this is like a BANT natural order deck. I don't think I want to swords anything just yet, but it's definitely interesting, yeah. If it is BANT natural order, I kind of want to keep them off as much mana as possible. Hitting a Noble here instead of the Dried Arbor because we can draw into Wasteland for that. Mox. Oh. Oof. It's pretty good. It's also like natural order mana. Endurance is fine. I'm actually pretty happy to see that. Oh. Sack flagstones. Go and get a Savannah. And then go and get Thespian Stage. I could get Wasteland if I really cared about that Cradle, but I think getting Stage here is just better because it just turns on the combo for next turn, and we can draw into a few things here like Crop Rotation or Swords. Okay. Guess we just pass with Swords up. Just hope they don't have a natural order. It's just like Green Suns for Hoof. Opposition. Yikes. Well, I guess we're not attacking unless we draw into Green Suns for Knight of the Reliquary. Late Step doesn't really do anything either, unfortunately. Oh, I guess we can get Needle, which is nice. Okay. So might as well make it. And then we can, I think we just take this. I could double block, but pretty happy to just get Saga and get towards Needle on opposition on this. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. So we don't lose next turn, which is nice. There is a world here where I'm supposed to Swords the Noble to take them off white mana in my turn. Which turns off Swords to Plowshares. Okay. Yeah, but now they're just gonna have lethal anyway. On the swing back. Three, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. I'll take the draw step, but just a little bit too late. Yeah, I'm not even going to show. We could step for Reclaimer Pro Blue, but then they just get to do it again in response to the step trigger. Okay. I like the endings. I like the Tabernacle. I don't mind Force of Vigor. I assume they're also on Sylvan Library. I'm going to take out 1 endurance. Maybe just the 1 force. I like the spear to get over things like Ice Fang. Needle's great for opposition. It might just be a bit of a trim. Like 1 Knight, 1 Crop, 1 Reclaimer. One Caracas? I'm going to assume they're not playing a legendary threat. Actually, we're up to... That's 60, so that's perfect. A bit of a messy hand. Ugh. No green. No. Alright. Bottom. Nothing to needle straight away, so just gonna go Flagstone's part. Yes, I am playing 61. I am playing 61. Come at me. I didn't know how to cut the second endurance, so I just played with it. And I think the deck has enough tutors that the 61st cut isn't going to really matter. They could get Dried Arbor here. I think they will. No, they got Tundra. Interesting. This is a cool deck. I'm actually not too sure how much Opposition is, but I would love to play it because I have a Cradle. Oh, Force of Vigor? Wow, okay. Yikes. Crop's pretty nice here. Because I can keep him off natural order. I think Tab is okay here. Cradle, of course, is a really nice way to keep it going, but... They're going to go for Dried Arbor. Yeah, I feel like they're getting towards, like, natural order. They're not attacking either, which is interesting. Ooh, swords. I guess I should have done that in upkeep. That's just a huge mistake. I should have allowed them to pay for Tabernacle and then swords. Apologies, chat. Apologies. Apologies. I know. I know. And it's little things like that that can really hurt you. Like, they just snowball away. What will I get with Natural Order? Probably Progenitus. The deck could also play a Craterhoof, seeing the amount of creatures they play. Caracas. I think I'm gonna wait once more with Green Suns and try to hit another land. Nothing? Wow. Ending doesn't do anything here. I actually now am going to just fire this off and go for a Elvish Reclaimer. I guess Prismatic Ending is one reason to Swords the Dried Arbor over Noble, but I feel like this is okay. Again, pretty happy to be aggressive on their mana. Nice. This is the sort of game that I want to play. Swords here isn't the worst, because we still get to keep one, which is nice. You don't have to pay for one. Alright. I am going to attack. And then upkeep, take them off the hierarch after they pay. The 61st Caracas, yeah. I think I just want to stay on the Wasteland line. Interesting, they don't use the basic forests. Them not paying for the Ice Fang either makes me think that they're not on like a Crater Hoof kind of line, which is nice. But natural order here, yeah. It's a little bit too slow on our half. Alright, well now I guess we're going towards ditching the tab and going for that's been staged because it comes in tapped, and then trying to get there with Dark Depths. Oof. I will play the step and pass. I can't race with Spear, but I can get Dark Depths online next turn. Yeah, it's pretty good. Just gonna do this now because I can. I guess I had the leftover mana to also go for Windswept. I think we're just too slow. Because I can't even Green Suns for Night of Autumn here to hit the opposition. I needed like a Yavimaya. I don't have time for Maverick with Spear because they can just use the Noble Hierarch to tap down. I guess we have one step left in the deck. But if they draw a land. Let's just, we have 13 minutes, so we can definitely talk about this. So we can play a land and fetch if we're going to go for life gain here. Go up to 16 and then take 11, go down to 5, and then untap with the 20/20. But then they can just use the Noble Hierarch to tap down the 20/20. Unless we untap with step. We have one step left in the deck. So if they have multiple creatures, we lose that way. The other line was if we have like a Yavimaya is 2 mana to equip an attack and then 4 mana to Green Suns for Night of Autumn, take out the opposition. But then we're in the same scenario where we take 11, go down to 5, and are still in the same position. So I think, yeah, we just have to try to work our way around them not having another creature. No script range in the deck. All right. That's fine. Just don't have another blue source? Or another creature. Ah, what do they have here? Well, we have to go for it. Prismatic Ending would be pretty sad. No attacks? Sure. This can't be. Can be. Yeah, okay. I was gonna say it's tap target creature, tap and untap creature you control, so you can actually tap that. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, now we just Green Suns for Night of Autumn. Safekeep is also pretty nice, but I like that Night of Autumn just gets rid of it. I think Safekeeper would have been the better play. Alright, here's Uro. Oh, another opposition? Rough. Yikes. But they can't attack this turn either. Yeah, Safekeep. Oh, I wanted to use my Reclaimer there for Saga. No! That's fine. Yeah, Safekeeper would have been pretty sweet. It's just hoof? Okay. GG's. Sweet games at least. But yeah, Safekeeper would have been game. Tough. But yeah, second opposition agent into Crater Hoof is pretty good. Tab did some work. Glacial Chasm is pretty nice, I guess, there as well. Some people playing Glacial Chasm over Tabernacle. But yeah, Opposition, a really cool card. I don't think it's reserve list either, which is kind of nice. There's his Destiny. Nice. Okay. I wonder if MTG Mate has any in stock. No. But there it is. All right. Let us get back on track. Delta. Pretty happy to mulligan this. 3 cards in hand that I really want in the deck. Last seen playing Pox, which is a tough one to mulligan against, but don't really have a great choice. I think Flagstone's Pass is fine. I could Wasteland the Tomb, but... Gonna let that resolve. And then see if they do it now. Probably do it in our upkeep. Night of Autumn Savannah. I think here I'm happy to hit the Ancient Tomb more than the Saga, because they lose the Saga anyway. Also means if they don't have another Soul Land or Land and Lotus Petal, they can't make the Construct. Oh my gosh. Not like this. Not like this, chat. Oh, that doesn't change anything, I think. I guess we can crop for... okay, hear me out. We can crop away the flagstones for Wasteland here and try to keep them off mana before they get to hit us again with the combo. I think that's better than anything else we can do. I might just hit the Great Furnace here, but it's definitely interesting. Do I let them have a 1 mana effect? I think I do. It's probably just another Grindstone anyway. Saga can get Opal, that's true. If they play Opal. But I guess if we hit the Great Furnace, then they still have 3. Yeah, I think we just hit the Saga here. But it's a tough one. All right. I guess we get a turn. Blast is pretty good. Hey, thanks, Timmerbot. Too kind. There it is. Alright. Prismatic Ending, yes. Collect Oof. Force of Vigor. Endurance. That's probably it. Surgical's also interesting, but I might as well have a little look into Surgical. Safekeeper can come out. Shadow Spear out. Get on a library. I'm pretty happy to play the long game, so I won't play Moxen. Caracas can most likely come out. Sujiri Step I still like. Wastelands I still like. Bog's still okay. It might just be like 1 Surgical. I don't mind that. Yep. It's actually a world where I drop 1 Knight and just have 1 Mox as a Saga target. I don't mind that. Actually, also out 1 Depths and 1 Tab. There is a world where like Collector Oof and Tab can just take care of their creatures. And I'm also not sure what their creature density is, if they're on the Goblin plane or not. It's actually, nah, I don't like that. I'm gonna bring in the extra Surgical. Especially if we can like destroy 1 piece of the combo and then Surgical it out, we just don't have to worry about it. That's pretty nice. No green mana, which is pretty brutal. No green mana, but a pretty nice hand with like the forces. We have a land drop. I think I just have to keep this. Probably bottom the swords. We also have the Sylvan Library to get back into the game, which is nice. So like maybe 1 Force Vigor. Always lucky. Engineer's okay. I kind of hope they get Painter. Yeah, Grindstone. Actually, that's not too bad. Just going to Surgical Ease now. A Braid, Great Furnace, Khan, Bolt, Servant, Lightning, Soul Guide, Lantern. Goblins, Ensnaring Bridge, Blood Moon, a Braid, Khan. Okay. I might just quickly take a full one. There we go. So that's Exile 3. I guess they still have one with Khan, so something to be considerate of. Okay. Pretty happy to pay here for both. I could Surgical in draw phase, that's very true. I just didn't want them to get it back into play. Because they can do this at instant speed. And I'm going to go for Reclaimer here. They have the Bolt. That's fine. Right. A Braid. Okay. So no longer a Braid, no longer Great Furnace, and they drew Goblin Welder for turn. Tough one. I think I just like Knight of Autumn gained 4 life. Windshift and S. I do like that this allows me to also interact with it, but maybe Windshift and S does as well. We're definitely pitching the Dryad over here. I think it is just Knight of Autumn. Gain 4. Which, I mean, if that trades with a Bolt, I'm not too unhappy. We can then go and get Collector Oof, which turns off the Great Furnace. You can click on the notification at the bottom right and select the screenshot to edit it in Paint. Very cool. Window Shift and S, Window Shift and S. Jar's a little bit annoying, but we do have Green Suns for Oof still. Painter. Soul Guide. Interesting. Prismatic Ending. So we still know about Bolt, Khan. So their hand is Bolt and Khan. So they currently don't have an extra mana for Khan. I think I might just Green Suns for Oof. So I probably want the ending. They can bolt it, but I think that's okay. It just turns off the it just keeps the Khan off the field for one more turn. Just a bit to think about. Especially because of the welders getting stuff back, it makes stuff a little bit more dicey. Sorry team, just little lines, little lines. It's tough as well because, like, in response to me targeting Servant, they can, like, sack Welder and then just trade Welder with Servant and then get it back again. Yeah. I could Green Suns for Oof, but I know about Bolt in their hand, which I kind of want to pull out. I'm going to take out the Welder. And then get another Reclaimer. Getting a shuffle as well, which is nice. So they have Can't Bolt card. Opal's pretty good. Turns on Khan. This welding jar doing so much. Oh, Needle's pretty good. Let's be honest. Wasteland. Put on top but pay for the Wasteland. I'm going to cast Needle and see what they do. Okay. So now there's some things I can name. I can name Welding Jar, which takes away some of the shenanigans. I could name Khan. Or I could name Grindstone. Naming Grindstone means I'm not dead to Welding Jar because Force of Vigor is just held off by Welding Jar here. So I think I do just have to name Grindstone. Or name Welding Jar and just make sure they don't draw into like Pyroblast. I think it is Grindstone. And then pass with the Reclaimer up so we can start, you know, put that step back and get some fresh cards. Getting close to just hard casting Force as well, which is pretty nice. I mean, if they draw a Soul Land as well, they just have neg into Lattice. Liquid Metal's pretty good. I assume we see a Bolt here. I think it's just another Flagstones. Saga's interesting as well. Ending is huge. Okay. They've already used the Bolt, which is nice. So I think now we just pay for this. feel like they have a blast effect. Oh, they have another bolt. Rough. I sadly can't use the Mox because of the Khan, so I didn't have up mana for Crop and Oof. They could attack with the Painter there. It's definitely a free attack. Alright, so they're down to 0 cards. Put on top, put on top. I want the land drop. And then take out the engineer. So I don't want them getting stuff back from the graveyard. Weird game. Weird game. Attack. Come on. I want to do it now in case they draw into Pyroblast. I only have one card in hand, so the chances of them having a blast in hand is pretty low. See what they say with the welding jar. They're going to say the liquid metal coating. Interesting. It's a pretty good draw. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do endurance now before they can like hit a land, can't tick up, and then just change phase before they engineer. I'm gonna keep the knight here in case we can kill the Khan. Because then we can use the Mox to play the knight. That's huge. Wow. We haven't used that Bajuka Bog yet, which is nice. Pretty happy to attack. I guess if we attack for 7 each turn, it's I like this. A 3-turn clock. And then Crop here holds up Bajuka Bog and also shuffles away those 2 lands on top of the library, which is nice. Yeah, the shuffle from the Crop is probably the biggest thing. We also get a shuffle from Flagstones, which is nice. This is fine. They drew a card. And then in response to them targeting this Wellspring again, we can bog them. Another Khan's really good. Jeez. They're not going to use the engineer here. Interesting. I don't mind crop this away for Bog to see if they want to tap the engineer. And then we can kill the Khan. I guess we could have killed the Khan anyway, but get the shuffle as well, which is kind of nice. They will. Attack can't attack them. I guess we died a bolt anyway, so I might as well attack with both. Have we used Dried Arbor yet? We have. Did they just attack Khan? Oh no. Rough. I think I just misclicked. By Knight and Endurance? Yeah, Knight was supposed to go with them. Tough. Because then it would have made it a one-turn clock. That's pretty brutal. We also know about the bridge in hand. We don't have an out to the bridge now, which is really sad. Interesting, they're going to draw a card here, which allows us to attack with everything, which is kind of nice. Unless they have a way to pitch stuff at instant speed. And before damage, 3... We can hit Saga to get an extra damage in. They could Soul Guide us if they wanted to. Yeah. This is tough because the 5 that would have gone at them instead of Khan from the Knight was nearly lethal. Okay, there we go. Tough. Apologies, I have a fly. I'm gonna get rid of it. Alright, up against Impose Fate. Yorion. Okay, pretty happy to keep this hand. It's pretty nice. Oh, okay. Yav is pretty sweet here. Means that we can turn this forest into a Thespian stage and just have Dark Depths next turn. I think I save this because I want to wait a turn anyway to get the Safekeeper into play. So what about like into step and then I can crop away the step for Wasteland? Or we can just draw the Wasteland, that's pretty good as well. And then just hold up Safekeeper again to turn the step into a stage. Wow. Just one of those games where they got greedy. They got greedy. So we're looking at a Yorion deck, which is going to be a lot of value. So looking at the endings, looking at the Thrun, the Endurances, the Chokes. Most likely the Surgicals. Happy to take out 2 Mox, a Dark Depths. Most likely the Shadow Spear, but Shadow Spear does get through Ice Fang, which is kind of nice. Needle can also be nice if they're playing Karakas or Wasteland. If they're on the Snow build, I could see Wasteland potentially coming out. Do I still have the relationship with TCG Player on my site? I do. I do have the relationship, Jerry, which is pretty sweet. So I believe the Green Sun Zenith has a store page which you can purchase singles for. MTG singles. Let's be open here. Just up here. And then it should still be sorted by deck. I should go through and update some of these, but all of these have like the core staples, Mana Dorks, Green Sun's Bullets, Stoneforge Package, other creature options, main mana base, optional lands, things like that. And then you can check the prices first, TGZ and Card Hoarder, which are all, affiliate pages, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool. I'm gonna go down on a crop. I do get a kickback. I believe it's 3%, but I'm not too sure on the actual percentage. But it does help run the site, which is really nice. There is a world where double surgical's overkill, but I'm just gonna again just trim a little bit. That's pretty good. All right. Always nice to be able to like steal wins there with Wasteland. I do have to stay hydrated as well because my mana is out. My mana is out? My water is out. So I think I'll let chat tell me what the opening hand is like and I'll be back in a second. Okay. Interesting hand. I don't mind it. Having the Knight of Autumn for Sylvan Library is pretty nice. Access to basics. I'm just going to name Caracas in the blind. To be fair, that does turn off our own Caracas on Uro, but I think that's okay. I think they'd be more likely on a Uro plan. Oh, sorry, on a Caracas plan than a Wasteland plan. It's good to be like, they cast an Ice Fang now. Interesting. Not sure why. Why would you cast a main phase Ice Fang there? What are you trying to draw into to play at sorcery speed? Maybe Prismatic Ending? That's pretty nice, because now we can go for 2 basics. Planes. Right. Sure. Living Wish. Potentially Wasteland? Or like Knight of Autumn? What is this? Oh, they're playing... Ah, okay. Okay. They're playing Aluren. double swords. Okay. That's gonna be fine. Um, kind of cool just to have Throne on the board. Yeah, I thought this was going to be BANT. So now they cast this guy. We can try to cast Knight of Autumn in response. Do they have another creature to go off with? Ooh. Oh, okay. That was pretty nice for us. What is the scry? Claimer, okay. How does regen work? Do you regen now? Is that how it works? I think. I don't think you can wait for damage. I'm gonna take a quick look at chat, because surely someone knows. Because I know that regen, like, I think it removes it from combat anytime before damage happens. Okay. Cool. I'm not going to play out the Caracas. I'm just going to play the Reclaimer and then hold up 2 lands. I guess I could play the Step, but Step might come in handy down the line where I want protection. Regen like a shield, okay. Prismatic Ending? Sure. Caracas? Sure. Recruiter. Bit of a yikes. Nice, okay. Acts like a regen shield, that makes sense. They probably go for Uro? I guess they can't go for Uro because it's Recruiter. Did they just get another Ice Fang? Yeah, okay. Stage is pretty nice. They haven't put Uro to hand yet, which is kind of good. I think I want to play the Bog. They probably just want a Yorion next turn. I actually don't mind return Thrun replay so they can't attack. A lot of value here. They get to gain 4 life as well with the Knight. Get a creature, draw a card. Okay, that is a card. Choke. Okay. Kind of awkward that this is a Caracas, because I can't play the second one, so I can't like Caracas and then play a land here to hold up regen. But I want to keep this damage rolling, so... we'll attack with both. There is a world as well where they just drew Aluren, and that's have like second green source Aluren go off. Looks like it might be something else. Prismatic Ending. That makes sense. Oh, Green Suns for 2. Interesting. Noble. Ah, get that source of mana. Get that blue source. Or second green source, that's very correct. Hey Tim. Made it back, went to the grocery store, and it's empty because supply chain. Interesting. What is this? Ah, return? Okay. That's fair. Gain some life. Buy some time. Okay. Ah, they can hit the choke here. That makes sense. Maybe green suns for ramen up here. A little bit awkward with my tapping because now they could potentially double block the Thrun. So I can't attack. That's a pretty big misplay. That's a pretty huge misplay, let's be honest. Yeah, QB would have been pretty good. I guess they did have the Caracas, so that definitely stops questing beasts, but otherwise pretty sweet. Okay. There's a world here where I actually want to return this in response to Yorion, so they can't bounce it. This Knight of Autumn has gained like 12 life. All right. How many colors do I have? 4. Interesting. I guess I can take out the Knight of Autumn, then return the Yorion. I'm gonna force it. Well, might as well get through some damage. Go white. Yeah, blocking with nobles doesn't really do anything. I think just passing is pretty good. Savannah Swords. Nothing. I think in response to this, we just return it with Caracas so they don't gain the life. Interesting game. Interesting game. Yeah, really grinding. Thankfully as well, time is on our side. Oh. Close. They do have a black. Okay. Honda is fine. No shuffle. All right. So the combo here is that with the trigger on the stack of this card, so when it enters the battlefield, if you haven't completed Tomb of Annihilation, you then return this to your hand, and whenever it attacks, that doesn't make sense. That actually doesn't matter. The big thing is that drawing a card each time and then returning it to your hand is pretty big, so you can kind of draw your deck. And then I believe it also drains. Yeah, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So I believe it's before you go to Temple of Dumathoin. I definitely did not do that correctly. But yeah, they essentially get to drain us. But as time is a factor, I'm pretty happy to see how long this takes. But it's a pretty cool combo because it turns the deck away from like Cavern Harpy and Uro. And more towards this sort of line of winning. But I think in the sideboard we'll change it up a bit. We'll bring in the Force of Vigors and bring back the creatures because there's obviously less to really worry about in terms of what I thought this was going to be BANT control. Tabernacle's probably worth it as well, seeing how many creatures they have. Just to kind of keep them in check a little bit, so... we haven't seen... Hey, Mr. Lee, welcome. We haven't seen Uro yet, but I assume Uro is in the list, so I think it's worth keeping in the Bojuka Bog. But I definitely want that Swords to Plowshares again. And I think I want the Moxen. But I'm not too sure what I want to take out. Let's have a quick look. So against Aluren, I definitely want the prismatic endings. I don't mind the chokes here. I think it's these. My opponent is playing D&D. Yeah, I think there is another iteration where I actually get priority and have to click through as well. But I will just work out sideboarding and then give my opponent the win. But I think Ramanap's pretty strong. There was a while there where our opponent was stuck on Jewels. Knight of Autumn, obviously really good. Another Reliquary I could probably see dropping down to 1. It's like 1 Knight. We know about the Knight of Autumn, so I'll keep 1 Moxin for Saga targets. I don't mind Safekeeper, especially seeing Swords and Prismatic ending from them. And Living Wish, which is tough. Hey, Mr. Lee, a huge thank you for the gift sub to Dizzy AU. Very, very cool. Too kind. Too kind. I could cut down on lands. I do like that steps get through some things. I could see myself dropping it down on a Dark Depths as well. Potentially down to 2 Knights. Needle actually doesn't do a whole lot. I think Needle can actually come out as well. I think Force is worth it just because of the Aluren aspect of the deck. And if they're playing like Sylvan Library, I'd be pretty happy to try to trade for that. This is actually 61. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. I think Crop's still relevant, especially for Caracas or Wasteland. I think it might just be Safekeeper. Or Bojuka Bog. One of those two. I think it might be something like this. Alright. I think my opponent might have given up. Aluren's definitely a tough one because Force of Vigor, I'm going to assume, like, Sylvan Library perhaps, but Aluren's going to be the main hit. Vial before as a recruiter target and just a value target. And it's pretty nice with its activated ability to discard extra things like Thalia, if you're playing Thalia in the same sort of humans list, or other legendary threats that you don't really need multiples of. I assume that also means you could discard Uro straight to the bin if you wanted to, but I believe you'd just want to cast it. I guess if you're off green, perhaps. Yeah. I think they just gave up. We'll go to game 3. My cam froze? Oh, it did as well. Alright, so how do we want to sideboard? Just keep the 2 Knights, 2 Mox. We do want the Forces. We can drop 1 Dark Depths, 1 Bog, 1 Needle. We do want the Sword as well. I think that's it. Tab's pretty good actually. Perhaps tab for 1 step. 2 ending, 2 choke. Yeah, I think I like this. I'm pretty happy to keep this. Okay, opponent thinking they just don't have enough time, so we will take those. It's always a tough one. I mean, if you're going to play combo deck online, you just have to kind of take it on the chin that you do sometimes have to go through the combo. Up against the daddy. Interesting. They have been playing Dredge. Which this hand is... I guess we don't really have that much in the main deck for Dredge anyway to mulligan into. Who is the daddy and what does they play? It looks like they play a lot of Dredge. Like we could try to like go for Bog early on, but yeah. This is a hand where we kind of just hope they don't go off turn 1 or 2. I think I'm pretty happy to mulligan once. See if we can hit like a Mox Opal hand or like crop rotation. Okay. I think he would just bottoming the Dried Arbor. Could potentially be the Dark Depths as well. The Dried Arbor is some interaction as well, because Dried Arbor leaving the battlefield hits Bridge from below. There is a world as well where we just drop the Knight and keep the Dark Depths in case we just draw naturally into the combo. One game made a top 8 at SCG with Adnoas without a kill at deck one time. Haha, classic. Underground Sea. Ponder. Okay, well this is not... This is actually pretty funny because looking at their history, they only play Dredge. So this really caught me off guard. Underground Sea Ponder to me just means Doomsday, yeah. Chose no shove. Okay. Interesting. Yeah, no, LSV did enter a tournament for Vintage, I believe, with no Tendrils, but he had Burning Wish. And he'd just say Burning Wish, and his opponents would concede, thinking they just had Tendrils. I guess we play Dried Arbor next turn, and then... Ooh, Badlands. This could be like Tess. Wishclaw. LED. Oof. Was I supposed to hold up Crop? Maybe not. Okay. Well, now we kind of have two routes to victory in either Crop for Bog or Swords our Safekeeper. I could definitely have attacked there, let's be honest. That's a miss. Huh. All right. They hit Tendrils. Ritual. Okay. Hit Echo. they probably start with Chrome Mox. And they pitch Echo, Chrome Mox, pitch Fail. Storm count is so high here. Yeah. Tough. Hey, Spyman. Yeah, a bit of a tough league, but some pretty close games, which is nice. All right, swords out. Caracas can most likely come out. Deafening Silence, yes. I don't mind prismatic endings. Collector Oof, Surgicals, Choke. I don't mind Tabernacle either in case they go for Empty the Warrens. Shadow Spear out. I don't mind Safekeeper can probably come out. It really only saves. I guess it does save. Collector Oof. Force of Vigor is definitely interesting. I think it might just be better than something else in the deck as well. Like a Surgical's really needed? Probably not. Surgicals can't really do anything. The only way that I think Choke is just better than another card in the deck. Like Choke is just better than Ramanap, or I think it's better than Endurance. It's really just a case of doing something where another card doesn't really do anything. I think Moxes are fine because it allows us to turn 2 for Oof. I think I will drop Bog. And probably a Step. Could also just drop like a Savannah. Or a Flagstones, yeah. I don't think Surgical No Rituals is good enough, unfortunately. Yeah. Way too slow. Better, but we don't have... I guess we could like crop into Savannah, play Deafening Silence. But that isn't great. It is a turn 1 silence, but we lose a card. The Dried Arbor is pretty awkward. And I kind of want to keep it in case we... I guess I can bottom it and then go like turn 1 crop into Deafening Silence, and then if we draw a land we can... It's tough because this matchup is all about just putting different speed bumps in play. Like Deafening Silence isn't game winning, it's just a speed bump. So it's a case of getting Deafening Silence into play, Reclaimer into play as a threat, and then using Green Suns to find Oof as another speed bump, and then maybe getting Choke into play as another speed bump. I think I'm happy to keep this just because of the silence. And it might just be the Choke here. It's tough though, because silence is most likely dealt with in our end step, where they're most likely tapping out. But I think it is just Choke. And then we go Yav, Crop, Fetch Land. Hey Roberts, welcome. Savannah, Silence, pass. Saga is one hell of a drug. They didn't have a bounce removal spell there, which is pretty good for us. Okay. Well, my play here is either draw a land next turn, Green Suns for Oof, or play Dark Depths, and then use Reclaimer to turn that into Yavimaya, I guess, or a Thespian Stage, and then Green Suns for Oof the following turn. Mox Diamond doesn't do it because that would be our first spell for turn. I didn't think about turn 1 Elf, just because Tess is such a fast deck that I really want to get this down ASAP. Yeah. Some sort of bounce spell, I believe. Another Brainstorm. Okay. Really trying to find something. The tough thing is we don't play like a Mindbreak Trap, so on the draw we're really behind. Okay, this is fine as well, because we are going for that Collector Oof. I guess we can Green Suns for Oof off Yavimaya with the Dark Depths in play. You would get rid of Depths so you can guarantee Green Suns Zenith for Oof. I can still Green Suns Zenith for Oof if I do that. I think if they run like a Grape Shot or something, then I'd rather get rid of the Dried Arbor here. Nice, and then next time we actually have Safekeeper to hold up against the Oof, which is pretty nice. Safekeeper and Sylvan Library next turn if we're lucky. So I think best draw off the top is just Wasteland, because then we can just empty our hand. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of giving Tess that turn 1 play. But maybe if I had something like Mindbreak Trap in hand, then I'd be more than happy to play it. Hey, thanks Roberts. All the best. Enjoy your week ahead and New Year's ahead. And hopefully I'll catch you on stream next year. What do you do if you draw stage? I probably still go for Safekeeper. If I draw stage, I can just play Safekeeper and then hold up the combo, because of the Yavimaya allowing the Dark Depths to tap for mana, which is pretty cool. Hey Dark, thanks for the follow. Let me know where you're from. If you play Legacy, what you play in Legacy. Windswept. Okay. I can actually play around Massacre here as well, which is pretty nice. I'm just gonna sack the Savannah to play around Massacre, and then attack for 5. Do I play in Legacy? I do play in Legacy. Jide? I do play in Legacy. US basically every good deck, not the obscure ones. Nice. No big difference. It's really just so I just have to do it before their main phase. So any time before their main phase is fine. That's really the only difference. Burning Wish. They did get Massacre. Interesting. Maybe they're just going to try to hardcast it. I guess they are pretty close to it, which is kind of scary. Can we find Thespian Stage? No, but we find another Deafening Silence, which is pretty nice. Yeah, the Plains clause, that's why, yeah. Because the land is a Plains. Okay, I'm still pretty happy to get Savannah here, play the Deafening Silence, attack with everything. Three, 4, 5, 6, and then a fetch land puts them down as well, which is pretty nice. And then upkeep. Probably Reclaimer. But I probably should have kept up Reclaimer, to be fair, to hold up Dark Depths. Putting them down to 1 is similar. It means they can't fetch. Yeah, okay. A little bit lucky there. Do I want to change anything? I don't think so. It's all pretty much the same. Just hope we get a turn to Deafening Silence. I don't think there's a world where like Surgical on the draw gives us anything. It's really only if they go for like an Echo line, but for some reason play something like a Chrome Mox before they go off, and then we can respond to the trigger by exiling the Echoing Truth. Oh, sorry, the Echo. I think it's a case of just running it back and hoping that we get a turn. Yeah, not really a hand that I want here. Endurance not really doing anything. This deck isn't a Past in Flames deck, so just want to mulligan for that sweet, sweet Deafening Silence. Oh my gosh. Yes, yes. Put back, put back, put back. So it's a case, I guess we could just keep the Tabernacle and hope they go for an empty line. I'm gonna do that. I think that's a fine play. Depths is an expensive deck if you're playing the Mox Diamond versions, but if you look at other versions like... yeah, you don't have to play Tabernacle. You should look up Rainbow Depths. Rainbow Depths is a deck within like, I think it's about $600, and it's a really good deck. You'll see Negator77 played with it a long time. I think he put it together. But it's a, yeah, sweet deck. It plays no dual lands, which is awesome. Or Tabernacle or Moxen. Never lucky. Never lucky. Ah, close. Funnily enough, the step and silence would have been okay. Does Green White play the Hex Mage? No. How do you cheese the depths together? I could get the Diamond, but then I lose the Tab. That's always tough as well. Maybe there's a world where I should have kept the Urza Saga in case we draw into Mox Diamond. It's just through stage, yeah. So in this version, you only get the 2020 through stage or Thoring the Dark Depths. And then just winning through sort of a mid-range plan with another Reliquary, Elvish Reclaimer, cards like that. Urza Saga as well. It's tough as well because now like Tabernacle isn't that great against an empty. They can just keep 5 creatures. Yeah. Tough. Just greed. Greed from me. I thought we'd see it more. I thought we'd see it more, but that is Magic sometimes. The big question is, do we do another league? I can't finish 2-3, let's be honest. That's pretty bad. Yorion Zenith looks pretty fun. Definitely won't lie. But I've just been so enthralled in depths recently. That's been pretty awesome. Played a little bit of Punishing Mav, which you can find on my YouTube channel last week, which is pretty fun. Played Mark Strassman's version with those play points with Ramen Up, which is pretty cool. Come on, 20. Come on, 20. Oh, 45. Nice. There we go. I think I am going to run back depths, but